G'day everyone, my name is Rorz and today I'm going to be breaking down how exactly to looksmax into a Chad using a looksmaxing routine that I have personally created for the viewers watching this video. That is precisely designed to not waste your time and help you excel your looks without having to do any research or experimentation on your own. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to turn to a normie who receives barely any attention from women into a Chad who gets attention with ease and draws attention wherever he goes. Now, just so I don't waste anyone's time, this video is strictly for people who are on a determined path in life and are currently disciplined or at least putting an effort in to be disciplined, but most importantly are struggling with confidence around women and just want a chance to show who they really are because deep down they know they can be better. But if that isn't you, that's completely fine. I'm sure you will still get value out of this video, but it is not made specifically for you. So in order to get into the right mind frame before continuing with this video, I suggest watching some of my older fitness videos because building the body will build the mind and you cannot achieve anything in this world without the proper mindset. So once you are primed and ready, come back to this video and enjoy the ride. Now you've most likely tried mewing, going to the gym and getting a haircut, but it didn't work because it wasn't the complete solution. The reason why these things didn't work is, well, yes, mewing does benefit your facial structure. Going to the gym will make you more attractive, and yes, getting a new haircut will be beneficial. When realistically, these are basic things that in today's day and age, the majority of people are currently doing. What you need and what I will be teaching within this video is a complete approach, and unlike the basic things I listed before, this will separate you from the dozens and provide a long-lasting and substantial change. Now I know what you're thinking, you're probably going,
Rorz, that won't work. I've got shitty genetics.
Handsome men are born, not made.
and to be honest, most people do, and to be honest, I was the same. So before we dive into this life-changing value, I must assure you that it is possible to become an attractive guy even if you have piss-poor genetics. A bit over a year ago, I was broken up with by my, at the time, current girlfriend, which by the way, was my first everything. And to say the least, I was absolutely gutted and easily at the lowest point in my entire life. Now, not only was I heartbroken, but to make matters worse, the experience started to have a major effect on my appearance and caused my UAV to develop into an orbital VSAT. On a real note, I do not wish acne on my worst enemy. Anyways, during this time, I decided to self-isolate, even feeling embarrassed to go outside at times. And as someone who is as proud of a person as I am, this was a very hard pill to swallow, and subconsciously having to acknowledge my subpar looks level. Yeah, that was even harder. But eventually, the loneliness got to me, and I was invited out to go clubbing with a few friends one night. And as out of character this was for me, my mindset changed forever. For basically what felt the entire night, I was practically invisible, or rather, contracted invisible to womanitis. And what made this even more brutal was that my friend at the time, who was substantially better looking than me, had women flocking to him the entire night, even sometimes simping for him. All the while I was sitting there virtually getting absolutely nothing. I vividly remember coming home that night, looking at myself in the mirror, feeling worthless and absolutely undesirable. But this was the crucial moment I told myself that it was time to change. And change I did. Over the course of the next 6 months, I decided to rampantly research every single possible way there was in order to become more attractive. At first, the results were subtle. I had people I knew telling me that my skin looked clearer, strangers actually making contact with me and smiling, small things like that. But as I honed my looks more and more, these signs of my rising level of attractiveness became more and more obvious. Instead of people complimenting me on my skin clearing up, I would be directly complimented on my handsomeness, and eventually had my gym crush stalking me on Instagram, which led to my never-ending dry streak finally ending. And something even more surprising was someone who came up to me who was actually a previous model and asked me to attend a photo shoot with him because he said, in his words, that I looked like an international supermodel. And to say the least, this would be a major confidence boost, which would then push me to post my first ever looksmaxing transformation video, known as Incel Giga Chad, which as of now has over 5 million views and throttled my channel to where you see it today. But what makes this transformation so substantial is that this only occurred over a course of 6 months. And I can confidently say, even a year after this, that the way I look and the way I feel is worlds beyond what I previously was, even at this crucial turning point in my life, which shows that looksmaxing isn't a trend. It's a change of life, a fresh start for guys who have potential just like I did. And if you're watching this video, listen closely, because chances are this could be you. Okay, moving on to the first pillar, face, body, and lifestyle analysis. Now I know you're thinking, oh, why can't we just get into the looksmaxing information already? Well, this is definitely as important, if not more, than the actual information in this video. Before one starts looksmaxing, they must assess, most importantly, their weak points, which sounds quite harsh, but the majority of looksmaxing is actually patching up those halos instead of fixating on your halos. And what I mean by that is obviously the halo and phalo effect. Phalo is obviously being the opposite of a halo effect, meaning it plays a downfall within your looks level. And chances are the majority of guys who haven't looksmaxed before have a lot of phalos to cover up. And you'd be surprised. Now moving on to the body, obviously not as important as the face, but I've noticed a lot of people within the looksmaxing community, not naming any names, which realistically I actually don't have to because I feel like I'm the only person who actually puts an emphasis on the physique. Now, not only will a good physique vastly increase your sex appeal, but it will also halo your entire face and make you stand out in front of the masses, which realistically in today's day and age is an absolute must if you're trying to negate the aura of an average man, which is the last thing you want to be, trust me. Because ladies and gentlemen, the average man is the new sub 5. Trust me, I know, it's getting brutal out here. Now once you've assessed the body, it is time to assess your lifestyle, because chances are your lifestyle is absolutely tragic and you are doing things on your day-to-day basis that could absolutely be playing a downfall on your looks and are extremely harmful. Because realistically, the majority of attractiveness comes down to health indicators. And what I mean by health indicators is essentially looking healthy. Who would have thought? It doesn't all come down to just your features, your gonial angle and all this other shit. Celebrities are a massive example of this. Just looking at Tom Holland, for example, who looks honestly painfully average. Granted, he does have good bone structure, but you put yellow and crooked teeth on him and a bit of pilly facial hair with pale acne-ridden skin, yeah, he's definitely going to look a fuck ton worse. But don't get it twisted, fixating on how to actually boost your overall attractiveness when it comes down to your features and bone structure is definitely crucial. Now, after you completed the analysis front, you need to correct your mindset. I understand that looksmaxxing can be very daunting. It's almost like looking at yourself as a new whole person for the first time. In fact, when I was initially black-pilled and I was seeing myself within all these new angles and seeing myself objectively for the first time, because yes, ladies and gentlemen, beauty is mostly objective, with subjectivity only coming into the factor once you reach a certain level of objective attractiveness. But yes, the majority of the looksmaxxing and black pill community is definitely negative, and they like to pin a lot of things down to your genetics. Now yes, with that being said, my transformation was definitely made possible, or at least a lot easier, because of my good genetics. But with that being said, I would like to open up a new perspective for you. You can have good genetics in terms of potential, but you can also have bad genetics in terms of starting point, which is what me, in essence, basically had. And you're probably thinking,
Rorz, oh, what if I have bad genetics starting and bad genetics for potential as well?
well, first of all, you're probably wrong and probably have absolutely no idea.
Yes, I am 12, but anyway, I'm gonna be watching a Spider-Man Slap Vine compilation. This has been recommended.
Everyone has good potential beyond what they initially have, but even if you did have terrible potential genetics, trust me, it definitely isn't over for you. You can do things such as appeal maxing, which is essentially fashion, growing out your hair, dyeing your hair, tattoos, accessories, going to the gym, things that are going to separate you from the masses. If you want to go down that route of trying to look like a PSL slayer, even as a subhuman within your genetics, then you can definitely do that too. You are just going to have to save up a lot of money and delve into surgery. But there is a very high likelihood that you will not have to delve into surgery, or at least ones you have to go under anesthesia for. Now, once again, if you're someone who has an amazing work ethic, wants to make rapid changes, but ultimately lacks confidence and feels invisible, especially around women, then I am pleased to announce that I've just opened up the opportunity to be coached one-to-one by yours truly. If you're ready to change your life forever, let me deliver what you most definitely deserve by scrolling down in the description and booking a call with me right now. Or not, you can just continue watching the video, but the link is in the description. Pillar 3, personalized workout and diet program, aka building the body. Now, to personalize your own diet and workout program, you need to do a little bit of trial and error. You could be intolerant to certain foods, or a certain exercise just doesn't hit that spot, or your mind lost a connection. But if worse comes to worse, here is a free workout program that I'm going to put on screen right now that you can use today. This is what helped me personally build up a fuck ton of muscle, but also get lean in the process. It is obviously a legs push pull routine with a rest interval every cycle. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different since I've started boxing, and I'm pretty much staying active every single day, which obviously is going to have a bit of effect on my muscle growth. But for me personally, it's something I really enjoy and I'm going to continue being persistent with. But if you want to continue just straight doing gym, that is completely fine. Just make sure to do progressive overload and push yourself each time you train. Now, the diet program is very important, which is also ironic considering I consumed a fuck ton of salt, aka sodium, which is the devil, by the way. If you're not in the looksmaxing niche, this shit bloats the fuck out of your face. So if I'm looking a little bit subby in today's video, that is why. But ideally within your diet program, you should be 100% avoiding fast food because, well, it's extremely processed, not natural, and has, you guessed it, a lot of sodium. So ideally what you should be doing within your diet program is by being in a small surplus, so say 200 to 500 calories, lean bulking with a good amount of high protein foods, and sure, having a treat every now and then. And it doesn't really matter that much. I'll give you a little coat pass. I highly recommend bringing around one of these bad boys with you. Pinky in the air always, of course. You're not exactly a gentleman if you don't do so.
If you want to be fancy, hold your pinky up like this.
But in all seriousness, a 2.5 litre bottle will ensure you are consuming enough sustenance and liquids throughout your day, so you are not going to be bloated, like me, unfortunately. Now, after you are set to build the body, you are not going to be doing what I did and ignoring your face. My first form of, I guess, looksmaxing was pretty much just being a gym cell. I lifted weights non-stop consistently, was watching a lot of Hamza at the time, which you can tell by my shitty beard, and the mullet as well. Okay, just give me a pass here. I live in Australia. To be honest, not many people look normal normal over here. Everything's upside down in this country, so that is why. A basic looksmaxing routine, like I mentioned before, avoiding too much sodium, drinking a lot of water, hopping on Accutane if you have a lot of acne, or even moderate acne, which is what I have. Consistently moisturizing your skin, shaving off your pooey facial hair. I mean, my God, if you cannot grow a full beard and you decide to have shitty facial hair, you are basically proving to the world that you have low tests and can't grow a beard. So do everyone a favor, shave that shit off. My personal favorite and go-to razor is the Philips One Blade because I have very sensitive skin, and if I use a safety razor, I literally have red bumps all over my face the next day. So better be safe than sorry. Another personal favorite I like to use is the use of BB cream. Sure, call me a faggot, I don't really care. By wearing this shit every single day, you are not only protecting your skin, which is even more important if you're someone who does not have a prominent bone structure. Because without a prominent bone structure, you are going to have to rely more heavily on your clear skin. Ideally, you want both, but spoiler alert, bone smashing doesn't work. So look into buccal fat removal like Jordan Barrett did. This goes without saying, but actually having hygiene, brushing your teeth, and getting teeth whitening strips, along with Invisalign. That is something that I am definitely going to do because if you actually check my smile, you will notice that there are gaps between my teeth, which unfortunately gives me an awkward smile and an awkward appearance when I'm smiling. And do not underestimate the power of a wide palate. This is a ginormous halo that so many people don't even realize why their smile looks good and looks the way they do. Because a wide palate signifies proper growth of the palate and or jaw. Now, obviously, if you have bad teeth, that doesn't mean you're going to be a subhuman. Two pretty good examples of subhumans there, you might know them. Lucky Blue Smith and Sean O'Brien. Not to mention the female-gazed gigamogger Henry Cavill. Oh, and yeah, me. So pretty good lineup there for you. But enough of me coping about my tiny palette. We are moving into the second last pillar, known as perfecting the personification. Essentially, this is going to be rectifying and tweaking any little mishaps that you have in your appearance. Now, obviously, no one's perfect, but this just could be little small things that you need to tweak along the way. Think of it as like a cutting phase when you're bulking. Obviously, you cut down to sort of reveal the shreds. Essentially, we are sculpting the marble and making sure that you are as much as a monga as you can possibly be, because everyone should strive to reach their full potential. These could be very small things. I'll use myself as an example. I tend to have quite arched eyebrows, and a little technique I like to use is by brushing my eyebrows down whilst using tweezers to actually give my eyebrows a more straight and less arched appearance. That also in turn give my eyebrows a much more thick appearance and low set, which is a huge looks max for me. For someone like you though, this could be something different. For example, even considering doing a soft to hard max by getting something like a genioplasty, which sounds like a hard max, but essentially all it is just getting a little bit of chin filler to make sure that your maxillofacial structure is in an optimal position for attractiveness. Now, yours might not be that serious. This could just be something small, like wearing sunglasses if your eye area is unredeemable. Well, not unredeemable, that's a little bit harsh. But if you're someone with quite a buggy eye area, wearing sunglasses, even indoors, could be a good resolution. It's probably not that bad, but hey, it's an option. Another small thing is, for example, shaving down your sideburns. Another little pro tip is that having your sideburns shorter actually makes your ramus look longer. And the opposite is also true. And the final pillar is confidence practice. Now, the last thing I want for the soon-to-be Chads watching this video is to be a clinical mental cell. And what I mean by mental cell is someone who looks like a Chad but ends up scrolling looksmax.org every single day and or is petrified of women. Someone just commented that I'm Sean O'Fried. Fuck you, dude. Now, even if you look like a Chad, don't expect to pick up every single entire woman on the planet. That's not how it works. Some girls are taken, some girls just probably like black guys. Insert cope here. But once you are looksmaxed, you will definitely notice the difference between the positive feedback loop compared to what you used to be getting with your negative feedback loop. This will in turn make you more confident when approaching women or just talking to other people in general. Exposure therapy is a massive success story that I personally have had myself. It's helped me overcome my fear of flying, my fear of talking to women, and just made my life better in general. Putting yourself out there, getting into uncomfortable situations, along with your newfound looks level, will drastically increase your life quality. So get out there, breathe oxygen, and touch grass. Now, I must say again, if you are fed up with not getting the results that you want, lacking confidence out in public, being treated poorly, or too busy not being treated at all because you feel so invisible, I have to emphasize that my coaching is a massive opportunity to completely 180 your life trajectory. Judging from my experience as someone who has fell under all three levels of attractiveness, that being a sub 5, normie, and Chad, I can assure you the way others treat you, especially women, and the respect from others and the confidence you have for yourself is night and day. But while I emphasized before that this is an incredible opportunity, due to my own responsibility, I must also emphasize that this program is not for everyone. Because like me being responsible mentioning this, you have to be responsible to turn your own dreams into your reality. Because I can teach, guide, and coach as much as I want. But if you don't want it badly enough, there's simply nothing I can do about that. But if this does sound like you and you do want to become the man you've always dreamed of becoming, to become someone that is desired, has the confidence to approach women, and even become someone who has women approach you. Ultimately becoming a man who gets what he wants in life. Then be my guest and book a one-to-one call with me right now. And I can show you what it's like to be a mogger. Thanks guys for watching, Mog Your Past Self, and I'll see you in the next one.